Now what I'd like to do is discuss medical malpractice cases. It can be very frustrating for someone who feels as though a doctor caused them or their loved one injury. We receive calls on these issues all the time. Now you should know that while I'm a certified specialist in injury and wrongful death, and we handle almost every type of very serious injury case, there are some exceptions, and one of those exceptions are medical malpractice cases. Now some people call medical malpractice cases medical negligence cases. It's really a different term for the same idea, and that is that a doctor fell below the standard of care, and in falling below the medical standard of care for their area of medicine, it led to a terrible result and an avoidable result. But it's important to understand why it can be so difficult to find a lawyer, and that doesn't necessarily mean working with us. Even if someone calls my office on a case that's clearly a viable medical malpractice case, we choose not to handle those cases for a variety of reasons. Having said that, as a certified specialist in injury or wrongful death, I feel very comfortable analyzing these cases, discussing them with other people. I could try the cases, I choose not to. It's important for anyone who has these cases to understand why it can be so hard to find a lawyer. A couple of primary reasons. First of all, traditionally, juries tend to lean in favor of the doctors. Now, there are many people who are doctors and they're medical providers, and they feel that's not the case, but statistically, it is. Statistically, what we see is that, on average, people don't want to find doctors liable or responsible. That's one part of it. Another part that makes it difficult to find a lawyer is that these cases are incredibly expensive to bring forward. So even if a doctor admits that he or she fell below the standard of care, it led to a terrible result, if the injury isn't severe, you will usually have trouble finding a lawyer to help you in the case. Why? If they admit they're at fault, or if it's clear from the records or even from a description that the doctor fell below the standard of care, why should it be hard to find a lawyer? Because you have to have an expert with a specialty in the same area of medicine on the case before the case even begins. You need an affidavit from another doctor, but you're not going to find a doctor in Arizona almost ever who will testify against and provide affidavits against the care provided by another doctor. So you're generally forced to go out of state, and these cases can cost $75,000, $100,000, $200,000 or more just in cost to try to get the case to trial. In other words, that's not how much is spent on a sure win. That's how much is spent just to find out if you have a chance to win. So medical malpractice cases not only can be difficult cases and challenging ones, but they can be very expensive. And therefore, if you call many, many lawyers and they're all saying the same thing, they're all saying no, but they're just saying they're too busy or they're not giving an explanation, the truth is it probably comes down to the fact that either they don't think you have a case, or they think there would be a case, the doctor did screw up, but the cost of pursuing the case will just be too high.